Hi, I'm Gene Cavassis. A while back I did a steampunk refrigerator and it's been very popular on the channel. So I decided it's time to come back and look at doing maybe a smaller one, a college dorm room style refrigerator, just your standard little refrigerator. So I thought what might be fun to do with this is make it look like an old antique safe. So let's get started. First things I want to do is I'm going to come in. So I have to tell you, I'm so amazed how easy it was to remove. You know, just lift up the rubber molding on the inside of the door. There are screws all the way around. You can pull the whole inside of the door out, and now you've got access to the back of the door. We'll be able to drill, do anything we want, and still seal it up and have a good finish on this and have a whole lot of fun while we do it. So I'm using 1/4 inch thick by 1.5 wide PVC molding, and you can pick this up at the big box stores. I got this at Lowe's and it runs right around between $6 and $7 for an 8-foot stick, and I didn't even use 2 full sticks on this project. This. So for starters, I'm going to need to cut 2 more of these. Because I want that angle iron to look the same, I'm going to take it over to the table saw and cut 1/4 inch off of the sides of those so they're equal on both sides. So using some PVC glue, this stuff dries really quick and I can apply it on and glue those 2 sides together to make the angle iron look. This stuff sets up really quickly. Now, as a lot of you know, I always say I can't have too many clamps. Now, I'm just going to use a couple of clamps on this to hold those sides together so I can get that exact measurement between the centers. So basically, that's just going to hold down what I want that to be. Look at this and go, that's going to need to be 14 3/4 at the center, 14 3/4, and down here, 14 3/4. I'm going to take one of my favorite little tools that I own, and I'm just going to scuff up this stuff. Not badly, but just enough to kind of age it. Actually, that's heated up and it's pretty ready to go. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to trim that down. About like that. Now I'm using actual brass tacks. They're real easy to use. You can even trim them down and push them through the PVC. I picked those up on Amazon and I'll put a link down in the description below if you're interested in them. Now I'm going to speed the film up a little bit, but you're going to want to set those tacks at about 2 inches apart. I also made sure that the first tack gets about 3/4 inch down because that would be centered on the PVC strap. Hey big guy, what's happening? You helping? come up to help, huh? Gonna burn your nose. He didn't burn his nose. I'm going to cut a couple of 4-inch pieces of PVC to make the hinge-looking straps piece of PVC, so it looks like the iron has actually been formed around it. Okay, so let's take these outside and spray paint them. Now I'm going to use a charcoal color paint for the first coat on these, and then I'm going to come back with a darker gray or even a black and just kind of lightly dust around the edges of those. One thing to keep in mind is whatever paint you're using, use the same brand and the same type of paint each time so that they'll adhere to each other and you won't have some wonky problems. Is I'm going to dust just a little bit of this satin charcoal gray. So now while the paint dries, let's go in and start working on the center latch of the safe and also on the combo dial. I'm going to use a 2x4 cut square. And by cutting it square, I can then draw an X corner to corner, finding my exact center mark. I can then come back with the compass and draw a circle around, giving me about a 3 1/4 inch circle that I can cut out. Using a set of hole saws, I'm going to drill a series of pieces of MDF that I can kind of build up to make the combo dial and also for a backing on the latch. Now we can assemble those parts. You probably noticed in this video that my hand shakes extremely bad. I have what's called essential tremors, and according to the doctors, there really isn't a cure for it. So I'm hoping it's not too distracting. Okay, so let's take these outside and spray paint them. I'm going to use a little bit of a copper and gold hue and just kind of do a rub on of some of these parts, and that's going to help kind of give it a patina look of it being aged or used. So I tapped in a wood dowel just to kind of lock this part, the bolt, down into place and countersink that so that I can take this brass plate. I'm going to mount that right to the front of this, just to give it a smoother look, although I'm thinking I may want to put rivets around it. Okay, there we go. So I think I'm going to start out installing. I'll put this one on first. This. So I'm going to come over here, up, here, this. So I want this to kind of go in between these. So it's going to go. I don't like that. That's pretty cool. On this one, the same thing. I'm going to come down to here. And I'm going to go right there. Did I mention you can never have too many clamps? I'm going to run up to the studio and using my $50 Silhouette vinyl cutter, I'm going to cut some pinstriping that I can use on the safe. Now that I've applied the pinstriping, we're ready to drill a hole in the center of this and mount the safe lock. Also drilling a small hole, we'll go ahead and put in the combo dial. And on the back side of this, it's got a sprayed type foam, so you can just take an X-Acto and just kind of carve that out a little bit to set it into place. Now that it's all put together, I'm going to come back with the Scotch pad and just kind of scuff off the tops of those brass rivets on there. What that's going to do is kind of bring some of that brass color back out and give it an aged out look. Not a lot, but just a little bit. Now you can take this as far as you want, but this is kind of the look I'm going for here. I took the Scotch pad and just roughed off the tops of some of these brass tacks that are on here, and that gives it kind of that aged out patina look. I like that. You could take this even further if you want to get that effect you want. For me, this is just about right. I'm really happy with how this turned out. You know, none of the things are actually functional. They're just for looks and fun, but you can still dial in that combo, undo the lock. You can gain access to your gold. Hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, check out some of these others. And in the meantime, I'll see you soon.